Hey, everybody. Hi. Hi, Dylan.
Hey, Lee. What's going on, man?
Hi, Dan.
Hey, Lee. How you doing?
Dan Perloff is here.
Hey, good to be here.
Dan and I have done stuff together for, years.
Yeah, 2015, I think, was the one we did that first project.
We did some stuff earlier, too, right?
Yeah.
Hear the garbage truck out there?
That's perfect
The
timing.
sounds of Venice.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So yesterday, Joel Larson was here, and you know Joel.
Yeah.
You know, Joel really held back yesterday.
Okay,
Joel can just—he's the funniest and the most ripped. He was really kind of holding back. We got to get Joel to come back and let it all hang out because nobody tells stories like Joel.
Yeah, I saw he was in the merry-go-round with Emmett Rhodes, and so they did this event where they had the whole band there, and he was talking, and then later on. When I was doing your project, I was like, oh, and I know he was in the Grassroots. He played with Gene Clark. I mean, I kind of knew a little bit about his career, but he was playing with you. So I ran into him at another Emmett Rhodes event and got his address, sent him the box set and the whole thing. And then he called me to thank me. And I took him to the Happy Together
Was that
show.
at a club in Pico?
The Happy Together show?
No, the Emmett show. Was it a club on Pico or somewhere?
That was different. That was I went to that as well.
I got thrown out of that show.
Oh, that was at the Alligator Lounge where they got him up there to do like a couple songs.
They threw me out because I was making wisecracks. Before he even came on, I was just yelling shit and being funny, and they threw me out of the fucking club. I couldn't believe it. I said, "What? I didn't do anything," and they threw me out. So I didn't get to see him at that night.
Yeah, that was the only time I ever saw him perform. Was that night at the Alligator Lounge. That must have been 20 years. I don't know. Maybe
I got thrown out of that place. I can't believe it. I
Thrown out for trolling, right?
Yeah, I was just being funny. We were making wisecracks. We were standing in the audience. I think Joel was there.
Oh, okay.
But they threw me out because I was had a big mouth.
Pico, uptight clubs on Pico.
Yeah. Sometimes people at clubs are so uptight. Like there wasn't a lot of people there that night.
No.
And it was pretty mellow before the show started. So I was just making some wisecracks because it was so dead, and we were just standing there being funny. And the guy goes, "You're out of here." I go, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "Fuck you, get out." I came to see him at.
Yeah, he was actually pretty good. I think he did like 3 or 4 songs. He was part of like a group that this friend of mine put together, and it was like a big deal to get him out of. He's known as like a big recluse, and they kind of got him out of his place in Hawthorne and
out of his father's house. He's still there.
Yeah,
still in the garage. I remember the first time I ever saw him was there, and he was so talented. And I was going, "Wow, this guy's at another level."
Yeah, those records he did for, I guess it was like ABC Dunhill or something. They were like, he played every instrument. It was like that. But he signed a deal where they wanted him to do like 6 records in 4 years, and I think he kind of blew a fuse or something.
Well, Joel was saying that Ed Shaw and Russ Shaw screwed him out of his royalties. So I felt good about it. Russ Shaw was this old school manager guy from like the vaudeville era, old Jewish guy, and his son Russ Shaw was this gay record guy, and anyway, they screwed him out totally. So Joel told me that yesterday that they screwed him out of his royalties, and I thought, fuck those guys. But you know what I did to Ed Shaw, and it was really funny. He wanted to be my manager, right? And I says, well, you got to buy me a car. So he bought me a car, a Sunbeam Alpine. And then I told him, I go, nice car, but I don't want you to be my manager. And he,
holy shit.
And he freaked out so bad. And we were in a bathroom at Sunset Sound or one of those recording studios. And I told him, because I think Joel Merry-Go-Round was recording, or somebody, or Emmett was recording, or I don't know who was recording, but I went in the bathroom and I told him, "Yeah, I don't think I want you to be my manager." and he goes, "Well, I bought you a car." I go, "Yeah, thank you." And then he grabbed his chest, and it's like he's having a heart attack. He's really old. And I go, I didn't touch him. And I ran out of the bathroom, and I yelled at everybody, I didn't touch him. And I was telling everybody that, because he was going, he was fucking, losing his mind. And but it was a nice car. And then what did I do with that car? I traded it for a motorcycle. Man, it's just fucking crazy back then. But
what color was the car, by the way?
It was red.
Red. Okay, nice.
You know what happened? I took it to Pink's. You know Pink's hot dogs?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pink's hot dogs. Yeah.
Yeah. I took it to Pink's, and they used to have the guys that parked the cars, and they lined them all up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I come out, and my car's missing. And I go, "Where's my car?" And the guy goes, "I don't know."
You're shitting me.
And so I go running down the alley, and I go down the alley, and I find it, and the driver's door is totally bent around backwards. He had been backing it up with the door open, and he just whacked the door off of it. So rather than fessing up to me, he took the car a block away and abandoned it and acted like I never parked it there.
You're shitting me. No way.
So,
Jesus.
So, old man Pink, old Pink was really pink-faced guy. and Pink sized Pink, anyway, they wound up fixing my car, but they had some fucked up people fix my car. And so they did a real bad job of fixing it, you know what I mean?
Oh, shit.
It was just not the same after that, so I traded it for a motorcycle.
It was a Sunbeam? Like
a Sunbeam Alpine.
Like Get Smart, like one of those? Like
a Sunbeam Alpine sports car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
I said, buy me that car. And he bought me the car. And then I told him I didn't want him to buy it. But now I don't feel bad. All these years I felt sort of bad about the car deal. But now I find out he screwed Emmett, so fuck him. Fuck you, Ed Shaw. I know you're dead. Maybe your son Russ is still alive. Fuck you, Russ. Fuck you, Russ. You screwed Emmett, you and your father, you fuck. Anyway, that's here we are.
Yeah,
that's great.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah, I want Joel to come back because Joel is the best. Joel's the best storyteller, and he's the funniest guy. So he was really reserved yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like I kept prodding him on the stories, wanting him to go on and tell his stories because he's really a good storyteller, and his stories are all good.
Yeah.
And he's funny. He's funny as fuck. But so he was holding back yesterday, so we got to get him back.
Yeah, it's more for next time.
Get him more relaxed because Joel is fuck. Nobody's funnier than Joel.
How many of your records did he play on?
Just the 5th album.
Just that's it. Okay.
Yeah, he helped me out.
When
Frosty bailed on me.
Yeah, I didn't realize he played the Forum show. I think that you.
Yeah, Frosty called me on Monday. He says, "Fuck, I'm not going to play the show." He didn't even call me. They told me Frosty's quit.
And the show was on Friday.
Yeah, my biggest show ever, and Frosty quit days ahead of time. And I had this manager that we'd left him because I had a manager was with another company, and we left, and so that other guy orchestrated that whole thing just to rat fuck me.
Right, yeah.
Wow.
And he did rat fuck me.
Joel to the rescue.
But the guy who rat fucked me, he was flying in a plane from Chicago, and the plane crashed, and he died.
No way.
Yeah,
that was on the Frosty episode, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's
Leonard
right.
Stogel, the cocksucker.
Yeah. Look at all this karma that's going on here. People that screw you or screw somebody else that you know.
Don't be fucking with me.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with me. Anyway, he died, and he got what he got. And I figured it out. It was a karmic load. I figure out airplane can be perfect, but if you have too many assholes on the airplane, the karmic load is too heavy, and it will crash no matter what. And so I figure that's what happened. Leonard Stogel was on that plane. His karmic load was so heavy that the plane crashed.
Wow.
But you reunited with Frosty later on, so you forgave him?
Briefly.
Yeah.
Briefly.
Yeah.
How did that feel, reuniting when you played together?
Didn't feel like anything.
Yeah.
I never held it against Frosty.
Yeah.
See, I was a single artist, and even though the audience really liked Frosty, he came in my 3rd album. So I felt like he was like a sideman sort of, but he was more than that because the audience loved him,
I see.
But in my mind, he was just another drummer, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But the audience did love him. Like when he played, they loved him.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, maybe I should have been more band-minded. But I was single artist minded. I'd been putting all my energy into being a single artist.
Sure, yeah.
So, I wasn't into Frosty I felt like he was a sideman anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was wrong-minded in that instant. I mean, I should have recognized that Frosty was loved by everybody so much, and he was more than just a sideman. But That's my ego. So, Dan, nobody has more stories than you. You know all the old guys, and you know them all after their success.
Oh, yeah.
So what's so funny is how are they after their success? You know, like you know you know everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I've just through various jobs that I did, I've got to come in contact.
You were at Rhino?
Meet some of these guys. Yeah, I was at Rhino.
Yeah, so you did
days,
you were on the ground floor of that whole classic rock universe.
When I was at Rhino, they were, it was a reissue / novelty label.
Yeah.
They were putting out Dr. Demento and Henny Youngman and, like weird novelty records, strange shaped records and, various things. And then they, started reissuing more legitimate things. But their big break was the Turtles.
Oh, okay.
They had a relationship. The Turtles, the two, Flo and Eddie, the two singers, the Turtles,
Mark and Howard,
got their rights back to their masters, like in some type of bankruptcy case, from that label. They were on White Whale. Was it White or Whale?
White Whale.
White or Whiter Whale?
White Whale. I remember that. God, that's a name from the past.
So they owned their masters. They still do. And so they've gone to various places. And the very first place was Rhino. And the Rhino was a store that just decided they wanted to put out records. They were putting out like weird singles.
I remember their store.
Yeah, right on Westwood.
Yeah.
And so when they did the Turtles, that had a lot of huge hits on it, and that became a big thing. And so not a lot of these major labels were like really doing much to cultivate their their catalog department at the time. Yeah, there was like a Buddy Holly box
Rhino
set
sort of
some of this other
invented
stuff. So they were able to license from everybody, and then all of a sudden a lot of the majors.
And you were part of that.
I was early. I was there for.
Don't be humble.
Yeah, well, no, it was just I was actually a college rep. I was at San Diego State.
Oh, really?
And my friend who was at Rhino said, "Hey, you want to be our San Diego rep?" So they'd send me records. I would drive around to stores, and I'd make these like really shitty displays. Like I have no talent to make displays, so it would just be like album covers and flats, and I would just take a staple gun and put them up on a wall.
That's how I would do
like
it.
Hell, right?
Nice.
But I got to know all the store guys and through that, and so whatever. And then I actually was instrumental in signing a band that I discovered down there called the Beat Farmers, who I still work with today, who do reunion shows, and I work with today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I reissued their record when I was over with Blixa Sounds in 2021 or something like that. So like 36 years after the signing them in 1984 to Rhino, I get to redo the record with liner. Well, I wrote the liner notes. I had to pick the liner notes, so I wrote them. Not saying I'm a good writer, but it was fun. And, you get to pick all the photos and all the ephemera, the flyers and posters. Good. So that was cool. It was like, but the first project I did was with you, and that was amazing because, we did like a 40-page booklet with all of...
Was that a Rhino project?
No, that was you. That was your stuff through Manifesto. Sorry. Whoa.
With Evan.
Yeah. So, that was cool because it was more, instead of it being one record, I mean, we did all the individual albums, but we got to do like a retrospective.
That was a big project.
Yeah, and the guy, Brett... why am I blanking on Brett's name? Sorry, Brett.
Sorry, Brett.
Yeah. He wrote amazing liner notes. He had done it before. He did the original liner notes for Rhino, and so it was kind of like, hey, you want to refresh these for best of? And then it was like, and also we're going to do a box. So he interviewed you again.
Yeah. And, I remember that guy.
Yeah. So
I had the theater then, I think, in San Pedro.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he interviewed you again, and he, all right, see, I just feel really bad.
And I still didn't have anything
Brett
to say.
Milano. Sorry, Brett.
Brett Milano. And
Milano.
I still didn't have anything to say.
I don't know. He said, he called me, after he talked to you, he said, oh, man, I talked to him for like an hour and a half. It was great, so,
What do I have to sit for an hour and a half?
Well, he went over each individual record, so even if you were just talking like 10 minutes.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Wow, how cool.
You're a better interview than you give yourself credit for.
Okay.
That's what I say. Lee's like an amazing interview,
Dan just was riding his bike today.
Yeah.
Right as Dylan was showing up, Dan was riding by on his bike. He saw Dylan.
Yeah, perfect timing.
And they started talking. I said, come on in, be on the show. And
Here I am.
So literally, he walked in the door and we started the podcast. Dylan and
it's Hollywood, baby. It's like getting discovered at Schwab's Pharmacy.
Yeah. That's it.
That's great.
Yeah. You know, we have to do more boxing stuff.
Well, Gene Aguilera is going to bring over a boxer this month. He says he's going to give me a date.
Oh,
so
we should do one every week.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Can I give the teaser? I don't know. I think it's going to be Frankie Duarte, who actually
Frankie Duarte,
who lives not too far from here, and I think he trains around here and does whatever.
Good. He still punches the bag.
Yeah. I met Frankie with Gene. He's like one of Gene's guys that on his book signings and stuff. So yeah. And he trains other boxers. You know, he's a trainer.
Oh, he's a trainer.
Yeah. So he's still in the game.
So he's still there.
He's still in the game.
Oh, he's going to be a great interview.
Yeah. Maybe we get him outside and
Yeah.
It's a great idea. At least once a week. I think it's really good.
Yeah. I mean, Gene's in touch with like all of these guys, and you know them all.
I know. He knows all that guys. And I want him to tell me about the place in Compton where I used to go when I was a kid for the country and western TV shows.
Yeah, I looked that up.
I forgot the name of that show.
It was oh man, not the Jamboree. So you look at this. Go to my phone. Sorry. You start talking, Dylan.
Man, everybody. I was like 9 years old, and we would go be the studio audience.
Really? Yeah. Tell me more about that. So that was in Compton.
And it was a country and western show, and everybody. I saw Johnny Cash when he was really young.
Wow.
Minnie Pearl, Ferlin Husky, Ernest Tubbs.
That's awesome.
All those classic. Old country people from the old school country. Yeah. Nice. And I was like 9 years old, and I was sitting there watching, and they had an accordion player, and I was an accordion player.
Oh, that's right.
So I was watching the accordion player thinking, gee, maybe someday I'll be an accordion player in a band like this, you know.
Wow, that is great.
Anyway, all the great country artists, when they came to L.A., they played that show, and it was in Compton, right?
Town Hall Party.
Town Hall Party is what it was called. I didn't remember that.
If you I look up clips every day, like for whose birthday it is. You know, happy birthday Eddie Cochran and that kind of stuff. And they have like amazing Gene Vincent, Eddie Cochran, like you said, all the country guys, but like a lot of the
those guys played at the Town Hall Party.
Yeah, every one of them. It's amazing. There's great footage.
I wonder if there's a picture of me there as a kid in the audience.
Probably, yeah.
It'd be so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I wonder who, I've never seen it. Maybe, I don't know.
No, I had to be younger than 9. I had to be like 7 or 8 when I was going there. Because when I was, maybe I was 9. Anyway, it really made an impression on me. And it was a little tiny studio. And it just had a bunch of folding chairs for the audience. And it was a very small audience.
Oh, okay.
So all the most famous country people, of all of them, and they all played at what's the place in Nashville? The
Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, they all played there. So all those people from the Grand Ole Opry would come and play in Compton on this TV show. Yeah. And it was a funky little studio. I remember it was really funky, and I was amazed that all those famous people were there.
You know, and a lot of them played at the the ballroom at the Santa Monica Pier. Like I think, like Bob Wills.
The Aragon Bar. I mean, what did they call that place?
I think you're right. I think it might have been the Aragon.
And later they called it the Cheetah.
The Cheetah was at POP. That was at the end of Navy.
Was that POP?
Yeah.
You know, I played at the Cheetah with Jose Feliciano. How's that for a name?
Yeah, everyone played the Cheetah, huh? I mean, it was a lot of like the Yardbirds and everybody. I mean, a lot of people played there.
Yeah, I played the Cheetah with Jose Feliciano.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought he didn't get to see me because he couldn't see.
He's great.
Anyway.
I saw him play at the Santa Monica Pier at one of those freebie concerts. It's like, I was expecting
recently.
like something 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and you're expecting, whatever your big hits of Jose Feliciano, kind of like that, lounge version of Light My Fire. But
what did he do?
He does like Purple Haze and Sunshine of Your Love and all these like heavy rock songs.
Is he still alive?
Yeah. Still performs.
Wow. You're kidding.
Yeah, he was performing, I think, in like Glendale at the Alex Theater, one of those places I saw like recently.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, a lot of. I went to a show on Saturday called the.
How can a blind guy live that long?
Yeah, Fools in Love Festival. I went to the Fools in Love Festival.
Blind people don't live that long.
He does, yeah.
I'm joking.
Fools in Love Festival at the SoFi Stadium grounds.
Oh yeah.
4 stages. I saw Smokey Robinson, Al Green, the OJs, Diana Ross. Everyone and their mother was playing at all the other stages, and a ton of these guys are in their 80s. Right at SoFi, where he saw the Stones.
Recently you saw them?
Just Saturday. Last Saturday.
You're kidding.
My friend booked Smokey, so he gave me an all-access pass.
Oh,
man. It was like, it looked brutal when I was looking out at the audience from where I was, because like they just seemed like it just got too gridlocked. People would look like they were like crushed up against the railing.
And so there was a lot of people there?
For different ones. Like for Smokey, it was, for some reason, it was like super packed, you know?
Were any of those people really pathetic? Or were they all good?
You know, I've seen Smokey a number of times because of like I said, my friend. And he's really good. He kind of, you know, not like seeing them from the old days, but he never really had that kind of like voice that projected. He just has he hits most of the notes, and he puts on a really good show.
So he was so cool.
Al Green's like, he still could sing, but you know, none of it's the same.
God, it's 60 years later.
Yeah, the OJs.
Yeah, 50, 60
Diana
years.
Ross with, you know.
Nah, she must be weird.
3 costume. Yeah, that's like the Vegas show, and I'm not a big fan of all her solo work after the Supremes, but she does a fair share of Supreme songs. And some of the stuff
and
I like.
And she's still out there doing
it? 3 costume changes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like the diva. They showed like a 10-minute documentary about her before she came on stage.
Oh, no.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they had Santana playing another stage, and, you know, he's got his wife in the band. She's a drummer.
Wait a minute. Santana was playing last weekend?
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
God.
And his wife is the drummer, and they, like, this is like you're at this, you know, it's essentially an R&B hits show. You know, like a lot of big 45s, big hits. And here's Santana's wife's doing like a 10-minute drum solo at the end of his set.
Wow.
Like, why am I watching a drum solo? But, you know, people liked it, I guess. You know.
That's pretty rad.
Santana has the most amazing following. I mean, people really love him.
Oh, yeah. A lot of hits, too. I mean, you forget.
Yeah,
you know,
he just played in Chula Vista a week ago. I saw on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Chula Vista, like 2 miles from the border.
Yeah, they built an amphitheater down there.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And Chula Vista, of all places. Yeah. That's like 2 miles from Tijuana.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
It's like the last place, town, last stop before the border.
I see. Fascinating.
Or National City, which is closer?
I think Chula Vista is closer. And then San Ysidro, then now you're in Mexico. That's where you change your money in San Ysidro and get your Mexican insurance before you drive over.
Mm.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah. Huh? But yeah, it was crazy. Like, you know, like you're like walking and you hear from another stage like some huge hit, you know, the Commodores or somebody, and you're like, oh wait, who's this? I know this song. Yeah, oh yeah. You know, and you're looking at your schedule because there's 4 stages.
Yeah.
You know, and they bleed into each other.
That's so insane.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow.
And people just move from stage to stage?
Well, they try to, but, you know, good luck.
Oh, it was that crowded?
Oh, yeah, at certain places, it was like, you know, I mean, I was kind of around.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah.
But, you know, for like Diana Ross, we were in this kind of, you know, if you had a VIP pass, you were in like this little pit in front of the stage. So you weren't with like the general public was behind you. So it was kind of a lot more comfortable, but they didn't seem to have that for Smokey. So it looked like all these people were, you know, kind of, you looked like the Who at Cincinnati or something, you know?
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the pit, man.
So yeah, I like to see those young up and comers. You know, I'm a big fan.
I didn't realize that they're doing stuff that on such a scale.
It was a monster scale, and it may be like their first time out. They just wanted to go for it, you know, because it's the first time they've done this festival. But it was ridiculous, you know. I'll show you. I could show you.
This summer, especially this summer, it seems like a zillion acts are up on the road, or at least they're coming up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that's so weird. More than years past, too, right? It's like there's an explosion of pathetic has-beens.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I have a friend who writes. He does freelance articles for AARP, music articles.
You're kidding.
Yeah. And so he was like it was about, well, these guys aren't touring anymore, and this guy isn't touring, you know, and it's kind of like, you know, go see these guys now because this could be your last chance.
They could die.
Yeah, they're right. And it's like on and on and on. It was just like a list of people that, you know, Aerosmith, you know, the guy's done. They're done. His voice is done. So it's like they're done touring, and then this guy and this guy, and so it's like, oh, you got to go see the Stones now because this could be it, you know.
But you know, it's funny. Some of the guys that are from real hard rock bands. It's hard when you get really older to still scream like that. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? Like the screamers, man, they have it tough. They gotta
Right.
Try to scream again.
You gotta have a lot of personality to make up for the fact that you can't hit any notes anymore.
Right. Yeah, I think Motley Crue is an example of one of those.
Yeah.
It's hard for him to hit the notes nowadays.
I saw Casey in the Sunshine Band on YouTube. He was a big, like Baby Huey. He was a big, big. He was fat, and he was doing things like fat Casey.
Yeah.
And he was doing little things and
a really bad rug too, right?
Yeah, he was doing like a little dances.
He was spinning around.
It was so bad. It was so bad. Man, that guy's got some balls, man. He'd go out there and humiliate himself like that.
He did one of those freebies down the road here at Burton Chase Park.
You're
one of
kidding.
those. Yeah, like a few years ago, like the Marina Del Rey.
Fuck, I miss everything.
Al Green has put on about 50 pounds easy, right? So I took a picture of him, sent it to a friend of mine while, and he was like, well, who's that?
Remember Al?
I said, who's that? And I said, Al Green. He said, he wrote back, I thought that was Cedric the Entertainer. And he was like dead serious,
Wow, funny.
Yeah, so it's tough.
Well, people I'm just amazed that people still do it. You'd think that at some point somebody decide not. You know who gets it right? It's Grace Slick. I heard, Grace Slick?
Grace Slick.
From the Jefferson Airplane.
Oh, yeah, okay.
She's not performing anymore, is she?
She doesn't perform because she thinks it's creepy to do that, to be really old and perform, or something like. I saw, she said something years ago about it. But I think I like that she isn't out there.
That's hilarious.
Doing it. I mean.
Yeah.
Well, when I see some people out there and I think, what are they doing that? I know they're doing it for the money, but it's just cringe deal.
Yeah, my favorite one of all of these, I really admire, is Robert Plant.
He's
got
good.
his own career.
Yeah.
And he just said, he doesn't want to, and like Jimmy Page seems like he's obsessed with getting Led Zeppelin back together. Robert Plant's just like, nah, I've got my own thing going.
And he's good.
Yeah.
He was one of the nicest guys I ever met.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's just a nice guy. That was really cool.
That's great to hear that.
Yeah, it'd be nice for him to come on the podcast.
That'd be fantastic.
Because he's a nice guy.
Everyone I know that's ever worked with him said he was totally great.
Said the same thing?
Yeah.
Just some people are just nice. Way nicer than me. I'm not that nice. But I have fun. Who else can we talk shit about? Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, like I say, I get out of my house every once in a while.
So Dan, you got to bring some people by here for us to talk to.
Yeah.
But bring people that are not brain dead. Like some people that actually talk, animated persons.
Yeah.
We will discuss, and we'll get I'll give you. We'll see
just show up with them. And
Hey, you don't know this guy.
We're pretty spontaneous.
Well,
look at today.
Yeah,
this is a great show.
Excellently.
And you just rode up on your bike.
Yeah.
It's
like it was like Studio 54. It's like you. Can
I can't believe you're out riding today. It's the hottest day.
I try and get it
planet.
done in the morning, but I ended up kind of
fucking today.
Lingering
a
little at the Cow's End down the road there.
It's hot.
Oh yeah.
Today.
Yeah, heat waves, brutal, man.
I had to go to
Yeah, Hollywood.
I had to go to
like
Los Feliz or Atwater Village a couple days ago, and it was like, you come running back to Venice, running.
Yeah. That's funny.
Wow. Well. We could talk all day long. Dan knows a million people. We could tell a million stories. You could tell us a little Slash. You know Slash? Like salacious?
Salacious.
That's new slang.
It's our word, or Slash.
Salacious.
Maybe do you have anybody? You have any Slash on anybody? You got anybody famous that you could Slash us with?
No,
you're not that kind of guy.
I am. I got no problem telling you who I don't like, but
not who you don't like, but just some great story about.
Right.
Yeah. Let me give it a think, and I could come up with some.
Sure, yeah.
Just a person.
I could use getting the venom out. That's good. That's therapeutic. Getting the venom out.
Yeah. That's right. How some people are unexpected. Like you never know what people are really like. But some people you meet people behind the scenes and you find out what they're like.
Right.
Like you've met so many people, and you've had so many experiences with people later in their careers. It'd be interesting to hear if any of them are very interesting, or if they're people that you really liked, or people that were really funny.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of people, when you see them interviewed, they're kind of like, it's like interviewing cardboard or something, or they're talking about the shirt they wore 50 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, it's you know, hey, look, you know, when they always don't meet your heroes, that kind of thing. You know, work for a record company, and you know, so somebody that oh my God, I worship this guy's music, and just turns out to be like, you know, no personality and just like the worst guy, you know, just that kind of angry.
Right.
You blame people for every single thing. You
know, anger. I never thought about that.
Wow, you know, like I really don't want to listen to his music anymore, you know, but that doesn't last too long. I'm pretty good about separating the art from the artist because,
that's cool.
You know, like, you know, a certain percentage of the people are really great, and you root for those people. You know, you're happy. It's a good experience when somebody you like is nice.
Would you say? What percentage of people how do I say it? Do you, like what percentage of people do you go away from meeting them and going, yeah, they were cool, or you think it's 50-50?
Smaller percentage. No, hell no.
Really?
Yeah. I think that.
That's interesting.
Like a lot of like I think a lot of it's a weird business. I mean, it's the weirdest business ever because it's like it's so fickle, and you know you don't know, but it's this might have been your experience too. This is my takeaway from doing the copyright terminations and talking to people, artists every day, and meeting artists, and is that getting signed back. That was the thing back in the day.
Right.
Getting signed was like it was your ticket to become the next Rolling Stones, and you deserved that, and you didn't get it, and who fucked you over? Who? The record company, your manager, the bass player, the producer that you wanted. There's a million reasons, and people hold on to that anger for a real long time. They're not like you. They don't get second and third careers. They're still, you know, like they're that moment in time was going to last forever. Whereas, like, somebody should have told them there's zero guarantees.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, zero guarantees.
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting.
So so everyone, you know, I kind of go into it like talking to where hopefully, you know, every once in a while you talk to a guy and he goes, "Oh man, it was the best." You know, we were making money, and I was getting, you know, meeting girls and blah blah blah.
Right, saying it like it was.
Whatever. I met my wife at the whiskey, whatever it is. You know, like on and on and on. Things turned out well. And the other guys like just still holding on to whatever, you know, just anger is all it is. You know. But, you know.
Yeah, that's
maybe anger makes good music. Who knows?
I don't know.
Write an album about anger. I don't know. You know.
Right. Yeah, it's a healthy way to express that.
Yeah. So it is what it is.
Well,
it's the promise.
I guess we'll stop now.
Yeah, great episode.
It's been fun, Dan.
Well, thank you.
How nice
this
that
is great.
stopped by.
I feel like I babbled, but you know.
No. I'm so glad you were here. It gave us something to do today.
Right on.
You got to bring some people here that are funny. Bring funny people here.
All right, there you go.
Yeah. Do you know anybody? Is anybody really animated that you can think of?
Oh yeah. I know some people, but
that are animated, right?
Oh yeah.
That come in and just.
Yeah. I will give this a think. I think that you know I'm not going to bring any like dead weight in here. You know?
Yeah. Because we'll eat them alive.
My reputation is at stake here. I can't bring in a stinker. You know what I mean? So. Yeah.
Look at how funny you have a Bigfoot shirt on, and
we always talk about.
Yeah, that's right. You guys.
We always talk about how Bigfoot's in the jungle behind you.
Rome, yeah. So
you got the shirt.
Well, I took my wife. Her birthday was August 19th, and her favorite place in the world is Mammoth, because when she grew up, they had a place, and she was a big skier, and she loved Mammoth, and her son was going to go with us, and the whole thing. And so I found this shirt. This exact shirt in a different color, and I got her one. I thought I should get myself one too, you know. So
I like that shirt.
You know, yeah, there you go. Roam responsibly.
Bigfoot.
What does it say? America's National Parks. All right,
that's great.
There you go, Dylan.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to have more guests on the show. A good direction for the show to go.
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah.
All right. Okay, I guess we're gonna get out of here. We could stay all day and talk, but we'll come back again. Dan will come back again. Yeah, it's so cool that you just rode up on your bike and walked right in the door and sat down and wasn't planned.
It was just as I was pulling in.
That's the best. Yeah. That's how we roll here, man. We just go for it.
Yeah.
So you can show up with anybody. You don't even have to tell us. Just show up with them.
All right. Look at that.
Just walk in the door.
The challenge is the gauntlet has been thrown down.
Yeah. Just show up with them and we'll talk shit with them.
Yo, crackhead, homeless guy, come on, get in here.
Yeah,
I got something for you to do today. Here.
Yeah.
Don't steal anything.
Well, we're going to check out now. Dan, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Dylan, thank you for being here.
Good to be here, guys. Yeah.
Audience,
excellent.
Thank you for being here. This is our thing. Yesterday was fun. Joel's going to come back because Joel is the best storyteller. He didn't really get going yesterday, but he can rip, and we'll get him back.
And a monster drummer. Monster drummer.
Yeah. You know, he's so funky, and the bands he played in weren't funky bands, so nobody ever realized how funky of a drummer he was.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But he was really a funky drummer because he listened to R&B, and he was that kind of a drummer. So he was really funky, and nobody realized it because he played in the merry-go-round, and he played with him at, and he played in the Grassroots, and they weren't funky.
Yeah.
They were
Gene Clark. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, he told me that he played with the Turtles. Like he recorded like maybe two songs
bit.
or something.
Right before Johnny Barbada
real briefly
joined them.
So who knows? That's like.
Yeah, Joel. I didn't realize Joel played on the Eve of Destruction. That's a classic 60s song of the earliest genre too. That was like early 60s.
Yeah, the folkies. Yeah, the original folkies.
That was Mamas and Papas, Eve of Destruction.
Oh, yeah.
Barry McGuire used to come into the Action Club and jam with us. He would come in every night and stand up and sing that song.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because everybody came in and jammed with us. I loved being in that band. I would just sit there.
What a song, huh?
I would just sit there, little organ player in the background, man, and all these famous people would come in and jam with us. I couldn't believe it. I thought I'd died and gone to heaven.
Did he already have? Was Eve of Destruction already out when he would come in?
Yeah,
Really?
It was a big hit, and he was in there every night singing it with us.
Wow.
P.F. Sloan, man. What a song,
And Mama Cass used to sit in with us.
Yeah.
And all these different people sat in with us, and it was so much fun. Like, you know how Joel talked about how one day he was on his father's house and the next day he was on the Ed Sullivan Show? It was sort of like that. One day I was picking fruit and the next day I was like, fucking Hollywood in this band for a year and a half, and everybody famous I'd ever seen in my whole life was there every night. Yeah.
Somebody should write a book on that whole scene,
I think people have talked about that. Everybody, so many people were there.
That was what club? What was it?
The Action Club on Santa
Club,
Monica Boulevard, right across the street from Will Wright's. It was a little place, but it was crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Brian Jones, who's in the Stones,
Yeah.
he out in the parking lot. He grabbed this girl Sonia in a rude manner between her legs, and she turned around and clocked him with her purse, nearly knocked him out, man, right in the parking lot. He was flat on his back, man. She just like clobbered him, Anyway, I love that. I love that whole time. It was so wild.
Yeah. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I think about like what I would have liked to have seen, who I would have liked to have seen, where I would have liked to have been, had I been a little bored a little earlier. And that's right there what you're talking about for sure. So when you tell those stories, I'm like, it's pretty cool.
The Action Club was amazing. It was amazing. Everybody played there. I mean, not everybody played. Everybody jammed with us. It was hard to believe. It was just like, it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. We're out of here. 3, 2, 1. Poof.